Scientists have made a new discovery on the cause of stuttering. A study by American researchers shows that stammering occurs when the front and rear part of the brain are unable to connect properly. This happens when there's a reduction of blood flow to the frontal lobe of the brain. More than 70 million people worldwide stutter, which is about 1% of the global population. Well, Norbert Leickfeldt joins me now in the studio. He's Chief Executive of the British Stammering Association. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you, Juliet.
What does this study tell us that we didn't already know?
Well, it is the latest in a series of research studies that tells us that the brains of people who stammer are built differently and process speech differently to people who don't stammer. So we now know really that children begin to stammer not because of their temperament or their intelligence or that because they're more anxious, but simply because their brains work differently, process speech differently, and are built differently. And I think it's really important, just to stress at this point, this is not an abnormality. This is not pathological. It's just a difference in the way that our brains work.
Hasn't it been commonly thought, though, that many children, most children who stammer and stutter will grow out of this? So does this give you a new window on the brain?
It might do. Actually, you're right. I think 4 or 5 children who begin to stammer will regain fluent speech. And we don't quite know why. We don't know which children will grow out of it and which children will perhaps continue to stammer without intervention, without early intervention. But this might be a way to identify those children who are more at risk, for example, at an early age, because that's really the age where you want to intervene because you have the best chance.
So what would your advice be to parents of children who stammer, and to adults too?
Seek help. I think even though the answer is that most children will grow out of it, we would ask parents, if you are at all concerned about your child's speech, especially those who live in the UK, you listen to us here in the UK, is to contact the local NHS speech therapy department, get an assessment, because they are the ones who are trained to make this a differential diagnosis.
And just quickly, what would this study mean for current speech therapy treatments? Is it going to change the way that works?
Very little at the moment. I think current speech therapy tends to deal with the secondary effects of stammering, so the emotional impact or the language problems. But the underlying cause, the neurological cause, we still have very little to tackle that.
So it's still just the beginning, this study?
It's very much the beginning.
Well, Norbert Leickfeldt, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.